Did you start it? Mm-hmm. It's already going? Rolling.
It's already going. Fuck.
Well, this will be an interesting one. We have 6 people in a 4x6 room. Not that small, but...
And we're naked.
We got Jay, Kyle, Ben, myself, Smet, and Zills.
Hell yeah, buddy.
We're about to let this one roll. See how deep we go on this.
Oh boy. Hey, I'm ready.
Big Kyle?
Yeah.
Start us off with a prayer, please. I'm serious. Put your mouth on the microphone and give us a prayer. Come on.
We might use that.
I'll do it.
No.
Come on.
We're waiting.
All right.
Everybody close your eyes. Hold your hands.
Don't make it too long.
I mean, we love the guy, but...
Heavenly Father, we ask that you guide us through this podcast. Help us, our discussion be sincere.
Somewhat clean.
Yes, clean. Help clear our minds on any topics. And most importantly, have fun.
I like it.
Amen.
Amen.
Nicely done, Kyle.
Sorry, I was just picking on you about smelling out of the vent fan on people's roofs. From the
Hold on. That was
Sewer
not.
pipe.
You were sucking on people's vents?
No, definitely
No,
not.
the owner
You
told
gotta
us.
tell the full
I'll tell the
story.
host. The owner said he was cooking dinner or whatever because I was having a cookout because we did his roof or whatever, and he's all thankful. You know, we got to stay for food. Well, all of a sudden, Kyle's over by this pipe, and he's leaning over it, and taking whiffs, and kind of looking at us, and
You were so full of crap.
he started asking Ben questions about what it was.
I got a feeling that pipe was full of crap. That's why you were over there sniffing it.
No, here's what happened. We're up on this roof,
Into the mic.
and
You
I
can
mean,
pull
it's
it.
a-
You can pull it towards you if you want.
I mean, if we eat some Mexican food, if you want an olfactory delight, we can give you one.
it's a freaking warm day out, and we're tearing off, and all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell's that smell? Ben's just sitting there, he just starts fucking laughing.
Shut the door.
Put your chair against it. Yeah, it doesn't close all the way. I gotta do something to it.
All right, sorry,
Now
I
you can
interrupted.
move your turn. You can the whole thing will turn. There you go. Now you can pull the arm out if you want. No, like
Oh, Jesus, Kyle.
I remember my first day.
There we go. Oh, yeah. You got to get right
you can,
up in
you,
the mic.
You
like
can move
that.
it however you want.
All right.
Go ahead and deep throat that fucking
Just the tip. All right, go ahead, buddy. Tell the story your way. Since it's your story,
No,
we'll tell it the way you
no.
want. Let's just acknowledge you were trying to take bong rips out of a shit.
I
pipe.
was not taking bong rips out of a shit pipe.
It's not what the homeowner said.
He saw you taking full lungfuls.
No.
Anyways, we if those of you who don't know us too well, we generally rip on Kyle a lot out of you
But
probably
we love him. We still love him.
Yeah,
Just
he
pretty
takes-
much the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Take Shaquille, make him white with an afro, and make it fucking fire red. And you got our best friend Kyle.
I don't know if we have a video when you were on.
Yeah, I was flexing the tricep
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah,
one time,
yeah.
but it
Oh.
didn't upload.
Oh,
I s-
yeah. No,
Jay.
it uploaded.
No, it never. I don't know if it did.
Oh, it uploaded.
If you right above that candle with your right hand, feel behind the flag. I put a little screw bracket. You see that back there, Sills?
Oh yeah.
What was that for?
You can put your phone on there, record the room.
Oh, I thought you just tried to,
No, I was like,
Fucked up.
yeah. Well, actually, I put it there so you can see the TV in case we play UFC and we fight each other. We can show the TV that way.
Kyle, if you said you were flexing the tries, you could make a TV show.
No.
Bis and tries. It's all about triceps and being bisexual.
Definitely not a bisexual.
Have you ever thought of that, Kyle?
No.
Why not? What do you think the weirdest part about being gay would be?
Well, for
Being married or like just the interaction kind of stuff, you know?
all above, like I don't want nothing to do with anything of the same sex.
I think the
fucking
fisting would
weird.
be the worst.
The fisting would be.
Who is that?
Oh, Jesus, H. Who was it?
Kyle.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, cheese and rice.
When'd you, like, how do you think that's the hardest part about coming out? I mean, you're going through this.
What the fuck are you talking about?
How do you,
Kyle is a deeply, deeply closeted gay man.
I am not gay.
See, he's deeply closeted. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You guys know, you know how I am when I go out.
Why? What happened?
I mean, you were in.
What do you mean?
Know where?
Tell me the best story you've had going out. Your best success story. What's going on?
Yeah, what's that noise?
Aliens.
I feel like I'm in an old 80s video game.
Yeah, it sounded like Mario Kart or something. Pac-Man.
I think it's aliens. They're trying to communicate.
Are they?
What is your
Get my tinfoil hat ASAP.
what's your best story going out? What's your most fun going out story? There we go. We'll circle the death action.
Well, I've had quite a few good stories when we go out, but I'd say
Great before this.
a pretty good one was the trip to Nebraska. There was a good experience out there.
Why? You can't not tell. You don't have to give full depth details, but you got to tell us why the story was good. So everybody else who's next be thinking about what your story is.
I have no idea.
Been ashing it in the candle.
All right, so we're going on out to a bar for some dinner, and so we connected with the bartender pretty good that night. We ended up going a few doors down and walk on in and kind of scoping the club on out. And long story short, by the end of the night, we had tagged the Cougar.
We got in the truck and Kyle's like, "Well, boys, I got one less Cougar Tag on the year, or I stamped my Cougar Tag for the year."
I smell like dirty whore.
Dude, that place was kind of bad.
It was. Now we don't know where we left off though.
Kyle stamped his Cougar Tag. Remember? I remember.
Yeah.
All right. You already started it?
Mhm.
Oh, my bad. Ben, what's yours?
Into a mic.
I don't know. I had a lot of them, but my favorite one was probably my bachelor party. There was someone in this room that kind of dumped a whole week's paycheck, also at a strip club. And just the whole atmosphere with all the friends from my bachelor party. I guess that'd probably be my favorite night out.
That's really what I'm looking forward to. My bachelor party. I feel like that, just like,
You ain't never remember yours.
I want to.
You're probably-
When is your wedding date? Anyway.
Don't have one yet.
No? Okay then.
Yeah.
Isn't
I don't
she
know.
going-
I would-
Isn't she going on her bachelorette party next week?
Pretty soon.
Isn't that why she's going to Mexico?
No, she's going for work. Work
Oh.
party.
She's going to Mexico.
Well,
for
not work party, but just her and Bethany or whatever. It's like a it's a vacation paid for from work that we're taking. It was some like they were gonna go somewhere else, but then you have to get the jab, and they're not doing that, so they're going to Mexico instead. Yeah.
Why didn't they get the jab, dude?
Oh, you know.
I don't.
Yeah, don't even play dumb over there.
Shed some light on the situation, please.
Nope, I gotta go to the story. Jake. You guys gotta share a story too here.
Okay.
What's yours?
What's yours?
I'll get there.
Mine? The one that really sticks in my craw is the night we went to Country USA and I ended up getting an underage. That one really stuck with me. That one was probably one of the best nights I think I've ever had.
The one where you don't like
Oh, I remember up until I passed out, and I remember bits and pieces after I woke back up.
That was the one time I went to Country USA.
When he did that?
When you passed out on the fence.
Because you absolutely hated country music at that time.
I still don't like it. But yeah, I was like,
True.
I'm not paying for ticket.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Didn't you walk right in?
I walked right past security, like past the gate, through like between the porta potties, and just walked in.
Yeah.
Just
Matt-
like
Matt,
he
you
does at
guys
the bar. Just walk right in. Better check these two. He walks right past them.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
that was that same night. That was
that was a good night. I was crossed as all get out, and I remember being in one of the side tents. Everybody around me just having the time of my fucking life. Ooh, my bad.
No, you.
And next thing I know, Blondie is grabbing my hand, and she's like, "Come on, let's go." And I'm like, "Okay, where are we going?" She's like, "Well, we're going to the main show." And I just kind of stood there dumbfounded. I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, we're at it. We're right here."
It was lit in that
You
tent.
know? And all of a sudden I pull out my phone and I look, and it's like 10:30. And I'm like, "No way."
I'm not going to make it through the night.
No. Next thing you know, I'm already pretty far gone. Run into a guy with some of the Devil's Lettuce, some of the Giggle Bush, and took a few hits off of that. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I didn't even make it to the main show. We were standing there, and I couldn't stand up, couldn't stay awake any longer.
That's
And
from
then
that video of you laying on that fence.
Yes, yeah. I don't
Got
know.
girls shaking their booties right in your face.
Yes, and I
he's
woke up and I was covered in those breakable light strips or whatever around my neck, around my wrist, all over. Yeah, I don't know.
So do you remember like when they took you in?
Yes, when I finally came to, was when I was sitting, or more or less propped up against the side-by-side, and all of a sudden when my brain came back online, all of a sudden I just see 6 police officers standing in front of me, and I remember they told me to empty my pockets, and I just pulled out everything I had, and I could hear a couple of the officers laughing behind the guy talking to me. And all I hear is, "Jesus Christ, this kid's got the deepest pockets I've ever seen." Dude, I had everything. Phone, keys, I had a big box mod, vape, batteries, juice. I mean, I had everything.
You always have a shitload of stuff in your pockets.
Yes, wallet, everything. But the one good thing is that I actually had a second over 21 bracelet stuffed in my sock in case somebody else needed one. They didn't find it though.
So you used it again the next day?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
How old were you?
I think I was 20.
Yeah. Just
I was,
shy.
Yeah, that was the year. I was like a month and a half away from being 21. But
That's your only underage?
Yep.
I never got an underage. Ever.
Nope.
Never
Never.
got one. All the dumb shit we did, never got underage.
But I do remember somehow when I was emptying my pockets, I undid my belt, and I was so screwed up, I couldn't get it back together, and I could just hear them laughing. And next thing you know, they gave me all my stuff, or no, they didn't give me my stuff back, but they put me in the back of the side by side, they drove me to the drunk tank. I sat in there, and I just put my head in my hands. And I was laying there, and they were filling out their paperwork, and then one of the officers came in, and he's like, "Hey, one of your buddies is sober. He's going to take you home."
Crichton, right?
It was. And
Saved you.
he said that, and then he went back in to keep doing my paperwork, and I was so hammered that I couldn't even stand up, and I could feel that I was going to puke, and I could see a trash bin about 4 or 5 feet away from me, and I made no effort to get it, and I just yacked right in the drunk tank. I mean, they had the door open. They were only like 15 feet away from me, and I'm just blowing chunks right onto the floor.
I can't believe they didn't get you like when you were that messed up.
No. And then one of the ladies that was filling out my paperwork ran in and handed me the bucket, and I just told her I was done puking.
Don't worry, I'm done.
And then, I don't know, they just kind of smirked and then handed me my paperwork and let me on my way.
That's like the most underages like in the state when they like they write more underages at Coosa than they basically do in a whole year of like
Oh, I
busting
don't
people
doubt that.
for underages.
I did hear somebody
They always
tell
have
me,
articles about how many underages they give out there.
I believe it. I did hear somebody, I don't know if it's true or not, but I did hear somebody tell me that had I not had a sober friend to take me home, they were going to send me to the hospital to get my stomach pumped. I blew into a breathalyzer, and I wish I would have seen what it was, because I guarantee you it was, I don't know, I bet you I was close to a coma. It had to be like a 0.3, 0.4.
I've seen you blow like 0.2s on the regular.
Oh yeah, I have, yeah. I've blown 0.2s, 0.2 and a half before we even go out to the bars. I mean, that's just pre-gaming. But yeah, I don't know. I wish
Who
I
has
could have
that? Who
seen it.
Greiton has that? I think he has like an
Greiton has
actual like legitimate breathalyzer that like calibrates, resets. Like we tested it out.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like actual police grade.
yeah, we all tested it. Didn't have any drinks or whatever. We did like within 10 minutes. Like say all of us tested it out, got our numbers, went back around. Everybody had the same numbers, and then we did it again. Went out or like before we went out. For like an hour or two, we were at pre-gaming that was Adam's bachelor party, and then we checked him again, and like everybody's was like increased, but it was like not absurd, where it was out of hand. It was really interesting to see. And then the next morning, people were still freaking blowing them, which
Oh yeah, we
it's
woke
not a
up the next
like-
morning and people were still blowing like 0.1 something.
So it's
even
like-
after we slept it off for 6, 8, 10 hours.
yeah. So think of that. You can't even drive when you wake up.
No.
So think how many times you probably left the party like the next day. Yeah, look at Kyle over here, like.
You know, sometimes it's a fine line. You don't even know if you're really hungover or still drunk. I
Yeah.
mean, it's especially if you wake up early.
Yeah, that's why it was interesting to see that when people were still blowing in the morning. It's like, oh, that feeling of, oh, I'm just hungover. It's like, maybe not. Maybe you're still intoxicated. Jay, I don't know what, mine's probably going to be, John's bachelor party was one of the most like wild times going out because it was 2 consecutive days of just absurd 20-year-old kids that
We had all just turned 21.
yeah, it was just nuts where it was non-stop, like maybe at 5 or 6 hours of downtime, and after that and that was the Saturday morning, but after that it was just go, go, go again. Yeah. Bachelor parties are always a good, like when you're younger.
Spring fling was always fun too, though.
Yeah, I can't really remember full, like, start to finish events to, like, bring back a night specifically that I could point out that
I have
this
another one
was
that I
the
think
best
ties.
night.
I think that night I came down there, I don't know if it was freshman year or sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
Yes, I came down there. That was a pretty good night,
When
too.
they broke into your... When they broke
I think it was the same weekend.
yeah,
wasn't it?
when they
You
broke
lost your phone and shit?
right when
Yes.
when
yes,
you
and
got
we
down
had to
there.
go back to the freshman dorm that was like 6 miles away.
Which I
5
don't
miles
even...
away. I don't know how I left. I
why.
don't even know how I ended up there. I left my phone and
We all went there, remember?
vape,
We were drawing
yeah.
on like the whiteboards and shit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, we all
Yeah.
went there.
Yeah, we all went there.
Yeah, and I left my phone. I had just gotten that phone too. I think I had gotten it like earlier that week. That fucking thing wasn't more than a few
Found it
days old.
in a desk. Like,
yeah.
you walk in the building and there's like, it's like almost like a reception desk area. And I remember Zill sitting at it and I'm like, I bet that fucker put it in the desk. Sure shit started shuffling through drawers right in the desk. It's like,
Yeah.
what were you thinking?
I don't know, man. I was wasted. Yeah, I lost just about everything then, except my wallet. I think I lost my card too because Corey took it.
Your card?
Yeah.
He's probably
He asked
racking
me.
a tab
He
on
did.
that.
Do you remember? I woke up and I had about 2 dozen
Oh, yeah.
receipts that I pulled out of my pocket that were for like $15-20 each.
I remember you had one, I think it was you, like $70 worth of cherry bombs.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, I gave Corey my card and I was pretty drunk and I never thought about it after
That's
that. And
not
all of a
good.
sudden I found him like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, and I have no idea how much money he racked up.
Hey,
on
at
the
least when
fucking
you
card.
spent a couple $100, you got something out of it, right, Jake?
I don't remember.
Have you gone to Spring Fling ever?
Yeah, I went down there.
On Spring Fling weekend?
Yeah.
What year? Junior
Actually,
year?
no, I think it was something to do in the fall because.
Homecoming?
Yeah, yeah. it's
You came down for
weekend,
homecoming?
Yeah.
Homecoming weekend and Spring Fling weekend were my two favorite weekends, like the whole out of college. Those were the best weekends to look forward to. Just madhouse.
I do remember, I think it was homecoming, because it was colder. And we had come down there early in the morning, and I remember we were at this little house party, maybe 20 people there. Didn't know them. You might have known them. I think you had to have because we were there. Maybe you didn't. I don't even know. But I do remember me, you, and Bobby hit that one hitter in the bush because we didn't want anybody else at the party to see it.
That was Spring Fling.
Was it?
Yeah.
And me and Bobby were like the tallest ones at this party. And we're like looking around, just stoned to the bone. And I'm like, dude, Bobby, like it feels like it's like 11 o'clock at night right now. It was kind of overcast, the sun wasn't shining.
Out.
All of a sudden, Bobby's like, really? Like, it feels like it's like 3 in the morning. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, you're more stoned than me. I pull out my phone. It was like 1:15 in the afternoon. I'm like, dude, we got a long night ahead of us. This is going to suck.
He reminds me of Seth Barosi.
Mm-hmm.
That beard.
Yeah. They're like the bigger rosy cheeks.
I liked it. I liked it better when he had his mustache shaved off. Looked like Jebediah.
You should dye that shit once.
I ain't dying.
Your whole head black.
No.
You'd look like Hando.
Oh, yeah.
Hando's got tanner skin than Ernie.
Well, of course, I'm a ginger. All I do is burn.
Well, I understand that, but still.
Are you warm right now?
No.
You won't right
I was gonna say I'll open the window more, but
Yeah,
everybody
you
good?
look warm. I'm comfortable right now. I'm good.
Rolling to the backwoods. How about that song you sent me? What is that? Were you just on a vibe today? You were just on a vibe. You were just
Why?
sending me random shit.
Was
like,
I?
You changed our freaking group chat to a bunch of cuckolds.
It's a hell of a title.
What did he do?
He changed mine, Levin, and John in a group chat, and I think I had it as AAR,
Mm-hmm.
and Jason changed it to like 4 cuckolds or something like that.
4 woke cucks.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
That's what you named it?
Yeah.
4 woke cucks.
Somebody must have said something at work, or Jay was just on this like caffeine buzz.
I get bored sometimes.
It's a hell
What
of a
else?
title.
What else was it? Oh, yeah, you sent me that country song. I didn't
It
take
was
it.
some Hank Williams Jr. song about something I don't remember. It just came on my
If you
Spotify.
if you don't respect America or something, or
Mhm.
if you take a knee, get the hell out. Or,
Yeah, it's along those lines.
yeah,
If you don't love America, you can get out.
yeah, that's what it was basically. It's a good song. This room's gonna be like yellow after all the cigar smoke.
That's right. Coat of paint will fix that. No,
Piss
no
yellow
problem.
door. We gotta get a little vent fan in here. Just gonna smell like stogies.
At least the flag won't turn yellow.
Jay, what's your story?
Story for what?
Story time.
My furnace broke this week. That was fun.
That's not a going out story.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll change. That's all right. We can go with that.
Oh, I said my going out story. It was either
Yeah.
going to be Spring Fling or John's bachelor
Bachelor party.
party.
Smitty, you got one? You're the last one. Last straw in the stack here.
I probably got a better one, but the one that really...
No. What's the best one?
The best... I don't fucking know. I don't really know that I can remember. The one that really sticks to my head is when me and you got on that fucking school bus.
The coach bus?
Yep. Back in high school. When me and you fucking... I think it was after a basketball game. Me and you went to McDonald's. And there was that band bus there. And we got on it, acting like our bus fucking left us.
And then we got out.
Yeah, then we got out and got in my car and drove away.
Chaperones were like, what the hell just happened?
freaking out on the bus.
I wish I could
Were they going to give you guys a ride?
Oh, they were paranoid. They're like, they left you here? Like, just freaking out. Like, do we have to call somebody? We need to call somebody. They're like looking at each other like, what do we do? And then we just like, no, we'll find out. And we just got off, walked right to our truck, drove off.
I hope you made sure they saw you do it.
Oh yeah, they were standing right there, like 20 yards away. Couldn't have missed it. I wish I could remember more stories like that, because I know we did so many dumb little things like that it's just stupid funny. Or like, it's like you just have to like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So did you see my Snapchat today?
Yeah.
So me and Ben, we thought we were like about to be done with the day. It was like 2:15, 2:30, and Pat wanted us to go pick up some windows or whatever from FDL, and we were in Waupun. So then we started heading towards Fond du Lac, and we're like, I wonder what Jake's doing. So then we're like, we should call him, see if he wants to just come along and ride with us. We're like, I don't know if he's going to just go for that. So we're like, we'll tell him we're going to go do a job. So I call him up. We're like, yeah, you want to come with us? We got a job to do. He's like, what? Like, what do I need? And like, you shouldn't really need anything or whatever. Just like bring your gym bag. We'll go to the gym after. Blah blah blah. And then we hang up, and me and Ben were like talking to each other. Oh, we should have messed with him more than that. Ben's like, you should have told him to get his bibs on, all his ice fishing stuff on. Tell him to bundle up. We're gonna be outside. So I called him back. I'm like, hey, you should probably bring your bibs. Like, it's gonna get kind of chilly out. And he's like, oh, what else what are we gonna be doing? How warm do I need to dress here? And I'm like, a couple of sweatshirts is usually good. Like, do I need my jacket and stuff? I'm like, no, just bring your bibs. Like, we'll be to the driveway in a couple of minutes or whatever. Just meet us at the end of the driveway.
Don't even pull in my driveway. Make me walk down the end of the driveway.
We start pulling up. I'm like, oh, there he is. He's walking down the driveway. And Ben's like, oh, come on, kids, get on the bus. Like, it felt like we were picking him up for school. We pick him up, start driving to Fond du Lac. He's like, so what are we doing? We're like, we got to get some windows and put some windows in or whatever. We get there, pick up the windows, start driving right back home. He's like, is this it? Like, yeah, this is it. We're going home. You assholes.
I'm sitting in the middle of a fucking...
Oh, yeah, there's only 2 seats. And then there's this, like, middle box that you just sit on with a little hunting cushion. And then Jake's, like, sitting on this thing, like, way up in the middle in this box van. And he's like, sad thing is, you fuckers could call me tomorrow. I'd probably come in, get in again. Like, stuff like that. I wish you could just, like, if you just vlogged all that stuff from, I don't know, 2012 on, or, like, high school on.
I can't think of any good ones.
That's why I'm glad Snapchat has the memory thing. Because there's so many things on there, just a 10-second clip that you could look at, and you're like, oh, I remember that, or just a picture. Do you think looking at, you know how, like, Levin and Marissa's wedding video? You're able to, like, look back at that and, like, have that. A lot of times people had, like, maybe, like, a VCR recording or whatever of their wedding way back. But it was never, like, the whole, like, very rarely you had, like, everything put together in a storyline where you're able to just look back at it and remember that whole night because it's all there. I think that'll be something really cool to see in like 20 years from now, where we're able to, and more stuff's documented, I think, than compared to like years past. Like, it was, you can look back at like family videos and stuff, like somebody's dad or grandpa always had a video camera, or it's like things like that. Did you ever have that? Like, my dad always would have the camcorder going. Like, he was always recording things. Like, you have to go back through and just see, like, oh, we were sledding that day, or we were doing, like, but it's not a story reel like people are able to do now, like videographers. Yeah, you think?
Mm-hmm. We have more documentation, but if we ever lose, like, the power grid, we will be fucked.
For communication purposes and stuff? Or, like, cloud and all that? We're
like
getting that feedback again. I don't know what the heck it's from.
I don't know.
Wiggle. I don't know if you gotta wiggle that or if it'll go away. I don't know why the hell it keeps doing that.
No, but, like, if like, we get wiped out, there would be no remembrance that we were ever here. Like, you can look back at like ancient Egypt and stuff,
Oh, okay.
and that kind of stuff where they were like writing on the walls and like
Stories on the
in stone and shit.
Yeah.
Like, if we would get wiped out as a civilization in like 1,000 years, nobody would ever remember we were here because everything's on phones. So once like the power grid's wiped out and these things sit in the ground, you'll never be able to like recover them.
Yeah, but I feel like there's like hard drives of data, and like if you look at Egypt and stuff, you're able to look at the ruins of things and kind of build the society.
Yeah,
of,
but
like,
think
what
if
it
we have
was.
another ice age. If we have another ice age where half the country is buried in 2 miles of ice, a hard drive's not going to survive that. Like, that would, even if you found it, you could never get data off of it anymore. Like, everything would just be wiped out. And everything's made out of metal. It would just decompose in the ground. Like, all the buildings. Nothing's built, like, out of, like, stone, like the pyramids that could, like, I feel like withstand.
Well, how long
something.
does stone, like, I don't know the science behind all that. How
Even that, like, I don't know. So, like, yeah, you can look at it. It's more documented with what we have, but if we ever lose
all of this. Yeah.
this, then you
It's
have,
hard to find the
then you have
stories.
literally nothing.
Yeah. There's no, like, physical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get you. Especially with Web 3.0 type shit, too. Yeah, then when you really start losing physical things.
Or even if, like, we lose our power grid somehow, like, you have no, you'd be back to, like, trading things. You don't have, like, a physical form of currency besides trading things. Everything's, like, on a card. So if you lose that somehow, like,
I got you.
I don't know.
That's kind of like, it'd be good to start storing up, like, metals and liquor and, you know, things that, seriously, that's what they,
No,
that's a hot commodity.
They're making, like, a liquor bottle NFT now.
Really?
Cognac, maybe?
So you own the NFT, you get special liquor bottle releases, or?
It was like a liquor bottle NFT, and I think somehow if you're an NFT holder, you get like an access to that bottle, but they're like really rare bottles of liquor somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the only thing I would want from that is the bottle of liquor, simply because you have something to
but
show
you can't
for
get the bottle of liquor unless you or trade through somebody else. But that, I mean, I think in a way people will use that to build capital towards like their brand and stuff. You know, release things like that where it's like, basically it's like a stock, right? Like you own this. In the future, we're promising this, or we're hoping for this. Like that's your return.
I just like the fact that 60 years from now you can have that liquor bottle and be like, I have something that
rare
is limited edition that nobody else can have.
Do you like collectible type things? Do you collect anything?
World War II stuff, right?
Yeah, I love all that kind of stuff.
Do you have like a collection, or are you just starting the collection?
I just started. I went to a gun show a few weeks ago, and it may sound bad, but I bought some Nazi memorabilia. I think we talked about it the last time I was on here.
Is that all you have then? You just started that?
Yeah.
You should keep doing that. That's sweet.
I'd like to keep more, but again, I mean, even from then until now, I mean, a lot of that stuff I think the government has under wraps, and I think a lot of that stuff is extremely collectible, but I mean, had they been in the age that we are now, none of that stuff would have been around, you know?
I almost bought a Nazi. It was a Nazi coin. Because they had like their own currency that they were using.
Sure.
I almost bought it was like a quarter or something. I was gonna buy it for like $20 just to have it. That's what they were going for on eBay. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy it for $20.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I didn't.
I mean, I like it just because it's a piece of history that can never be taken away from you, unless it's stolen or lost. But
Mike kind of does that too. Like he'll just.
I have a World War II helmet.
See what things are like going for.
Really?
And
I'd like to get a helmet, but everything that I found at the gun show, I found a few just regular run-of-the-mill helmets, and I found a couple SS helmets, but I think the cheapest one was like $500.
Yeah, the Nazi ones?
Yeah, and that was too rich for my blood at this point.
Think about that. How, like, it's not that old in the retrospect of how, like, old human civilization is, but like just how far back it is from our current age.
Yeah, there isn't really any World War II survivors like around
Left.
anymore.
Yeah, it's very, very rare.
That one guy that was on Jocko's podcast that has this book out. Did you listen to that
I
guy?
heard it.
He's pretty good. He's like 101 or something. But he had some
Crazy.
cool stories.
And you got to think too. I mean, God forbid our country ever gets to that point, but I mean, a lot of that stuff I think was destroyed by the German government. I mean, they tried to.
Yeah, they tried to destroy that. Kind of stuff.
Because they didn't.
Just
mean,
like you typically would. And sorry, I'm interrupting you. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, like I was gonna say, I know that there was a piece of technology they had. It was almost like a typewriter back in the day, but it used a certain code that they had, and they actually went way out of their way to actually destroy that because they didn't want anybody to find it for the rest of the time. And I think there has been a couple found at like in the ocean somewhere.
Like
Yeah. And they bring it up, and I mean, it looks like a typewriter, but
Yeah.
it had like, you know, they used it for like encrypted messages and almost like their Morse code or something like that.
It's crazy, like the technology that isn't released to the public, like drones and stuff. How long the military was using that before we could begin using drones, like cell phones, that kind of stuff. Think of the technology that they have right now that we're not going to see for 10, 15 years, and then all of a sudden it's going to be in a way, I think it's a safety thing too, like how the public, like how to bring it into the public so that they're using it safely. Or that's also why I think like why certain companies like Facebook or like they narrow them down into only a select few companies have like Apple and stuff, because there's so much that can go on with the use of phones, and like the government in a way is trying to control those bigger companies too, so that they can only release certain things. Because I think if making a motor run on water type shit, where they don't want everybody to be able to do that because there's people that have their hands in different pockets of different so I think you get what I'm going with.
I
Like,
think they do it
Yeah.
for a couple different reasons. I think they withhold some of that stuff because, for one, there's money to be made, so they don't want too many people to get that because they obviously want the money. And then two, I think a lot of times they withhold a lot of that stuff because I think they realize how smart people are, and if they just release that to the public, and with enough time that passes, people will find out ways to hack it or use it for something very
against
bad.
them, against maybe our
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Or even overseas, you know. I mean, for as smart as people are, there's an equal amount of dumb ones, you know, that just will blurt something out or say something that could be used against them. You know what I mean?
I didn't think people were like. I've heard this from few different people, but I didn't realize how stupid people were until this whole pandemic stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Like how easy people are manipulated, how they just believe everything. They don't understand researching anything. Like it's whatever like somebody tells them or they see online, that's true. Like look on Facebook, there's so many things that go around where like people are like, besides the fact checking thing, even if that's been a scam in itself, the whole fact checking bullshit, but like something will come up on Facebook and people won't take a split second to even consider like
that there's a different possibility.
That this isn't even true. Like they just see it, boom, repost, and then like you get all this misinformation bullshit. They think that like China and Russia, like different countries, they pump that shit into our like social media outlets and news outlets to confuse the population, so people can't. So you don't, like, during the election, you don't know what's right, what's wrong, who to vote for, like, because there's so much information, you don't know what's true, and then they pump up bullshit stuff, and then it just makes it that much harder.
Oh, for sure.
You shaking your head over there. What's popping in your head?
I just think of the saying, you can't fix stupid.
Yeah, but it's crazy how stupid, like, people really are.
But a lot of it, I don't think even comes down. I mean, a portion of it is stupidity, but a lot of it is just confusion.
Yeah, pure manipulation. But they're manipulating by confusing the hell out of you.
You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Pick your poison, you know? I mean, they're both feeding you a line of bullshit, and you kind of have to pick. And
but that's when is it enough is enough? Where we're like, fuck this. We're so advanced. Like, why are we listening to all this bullshit? Like, when is there going to be somebody that actually steps up? Like when Andy's talking about becoming president, like, when are we going to find more people that are like, fuck this? Like, enough of this 20-year terms, like, or just people staying in Congress for their whole life and just like when do we just say, like, when's the overturn of all that? Where we're like, we need to change this shit.
I think the only thing that could happen that would overrule that would be to be a complete gut of the government, just literally have the entire country's population overthrow the government and restart, because
I think that's like the scariest, most wild,
it's a wild concept.
But they're like planning behind it, but it's something that possibly would work. Like,
if things get worse, I think there's a good
like, it might take a long time for it to pan out and play out the way we want it to, but I think it is a possibility that it could work. But it's just that the planning and stuff that would go into it, there would probably be very little at first because people would just be, freaking the fuck out.
And you have to remember too, I mean, this isn't like Russia or North Korea or China. I mean, those people have full reason to overthrow the government. I mean, they're treated like animals. Here, I mean,
we still have a ton of freedoms and stuff.
That's what I mean. It would be hard to get that many people together because, in retrospect, when you look at it, they don't treat us like that. So I think a lot of people would have a hard time justifying overthrowing the government.
I think people are so comfortable, even though your lives aren't like. Or
it could be a lot better.
They're so better. But we have it better than any generation ever in the history of the United States and anywhere else in the world. So it's hard for people to comprehend, like, these freedoms that they're trying to take from you, or the shit that they've been doing and taxing you on everything. Like, people think, no, it's fine, just because we have it so good right now. But the more they keep doing that, maybe it takes another 100 years, but eventually that shit's going to be gone because that's what they're doing. They're just taking things slowly, one thing after the other. But I think people just think we have it so good that they don't think that's what's happening. They don't want to accept that's what's happening.
Well, like even my grandma feels the same way. I told her that I don't trust the shot for one reason or another, I guess. But I mean, I didn't say it to her, but I mean, again, is it out of the realm of possibility that they just? I mean, everybody believes what they say, right? So, I mean, they could feed you a line of bullshit and, 90% of the population is just going to go with it.
They as in the government?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading this book, The Gulag Archipelago. It's about, it's this guy that worked, he was in, like, the Soviet army, and then he started writing about, how he wasn't agreeing with a lot of what Stalin was doing, so then they threw him in like these prisons, and then once he was released, he made like basically a memoir of like what happened, and like this book was a huge reason that like the Soviet Union was taken down because nobody knew what was going on, like, and he talks about like how basically the masses were all fooled into believing that what they were pushing was like right, what they were doing the right thing by going along with what Stalin was pushing. So like when you look at these doctors, like these couple that Rogan had on, like that Peter McCullough, and then there's one more that they got banned from Twitter just for saying like facts about what they're seeing, and it's basically it's the start of that. I mean, they're not getting thrown in jail for going against the mainstream idea of like COVID, but they're doctors. Why are you silencing these doctors? They're literally banning them, taking their licenses away because they're saying they're going against the mainstream narrative. Like that's creating a mass psychosis in this country, and that's exactly what they're pushing for.
Well, yeah, I mean they're doing it now. I mean, look at all the people. I mean, I don't know, I'm not on most platforms, social media platforms, but like look at Facebook, for example. I mean, if you say anything that's too conservative, they'll pull you. I mean, it's.
Well, yeah. So
I mean, it's the start of it, but again, like I said before, it's hard to justify because for all the people who don't like that and don't want that, there's an equal number of people who think it's right and it's okay.
yeah, but that's exactly what like even Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia was doing. Is that they had propaganda pushed through all the mainstream media outlets to make the masses believe that going along with the narrative is the right thing to do. Like you listen to Jordan Peterson and he talks like if this country was 1920s Germany, 99.9% of people would have been like considered Nazis because you just play along with it thinking that you're doing the right thing, like trusting these people instead of like taking a step back and being like, okay, what's actually going on here? Which sounds like conspiracy all the time, but then sometimes it turns out it's not conspiracy.
But they used force back then too, and I think that was a factor. You know, almost like China or North Korea, where if you go against them, they'll kill you, they'll throw you in jail.
But aren't they using force by silencing medical doctors?
Yes, yes.
I mean, they're not forcing
yes.
in the way of like killing people and imprisoning people, but at the same time, they're starting that snowball of like,
yes.
We're gonna silence them because they're not going along with what we want them to say.
Yes, and I think the only reason that
so if we keep
is because people aren't being killed or thrown in prison. So I guess in a sense, I think a lot of people think it's morally right to do that, which is not good.
Yeah, but that's the start of it.
Yes, I agree with you. I think the only reason it hasn't come to a head yet is because of that. Because in a sense, nobody's getting hurt. You know, they're not being killed. They're not being thrown in prison. You know, they're not being hung out in the streets. You know, so I think a lot of people are like, well, yeah, although it is wrong, I think a lot of people just kind of turn a blind eye to it because in reality nothing is actually happening to them other than being, you know, yoinked from these platforms.
Slowly though, it's a process.
Oh yeah,
they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
They're gonna chip away for years and years and years, and just like in North Korea. I keep referencing North Korea because I've been big into watching North Korean documentaries lately. I don't know why, but no, I mean, they're just going to slowly chip away. People are going to either forget about it or get complacent with it, and they're going to start doing it to younger generations, and everybody who, like in our generation, understands what happened will get old, will either pass away, or we physically can't do anything anymore to prevent it, and the new generation will come up thinking that is normal day life, and over the course of time, it'll be the norm.
Yeah. You ever look at a light map of North and South Korea?
Mm-mm.
The differences? It's a straight line. Like, one is completely lit up and one is completely black.
It shows, what is it? What, a communist or a socialist?
North Korea is totalitarian communist.
So it shows them versus like whatever.
I think
South Korea, a capitalist country?
I believe, yes, I
yeah,
believe
it shows a difference. And it like, it's saying like, here's what your freedoms are. Like, they're using like light, like, I don't know, possibilities, dreams, like that kind of like that reference.
Well, like even in the
dark,
documentaries I
dim.
was watching, I mean, if you get into the country, if you can even get into it, like you are surrounded by guards.
Yeah, there you go.
They
said it's one of the hardest countries to escape.
Yes, because you are literally like under thumb.
Like people are like slaved into it. They can't.
Perfect
like,
line.
Yes.
Like even us, we could go there and boom, like vanish basically.
Well, in that documentary I was watching, I think I watched multiple of them, but they were all European people. I think one group was all French or something like that. And when they went over there, I mean, they were surrounded by guards. They were not allowed to like go to a restaurant because actually there are no restaurants out there, and if there is, they're completely useless.
As far as, what do you mean?
Like people literally live like dogs over there.
Yeah.
And the only thing they allow outsiders to see, you know, they'll take you to a fancy hotel and you can eat good food, and but you are constantly surrounded by guards.
Yeah.
If you start asking too many questions, they'll tell you to stop, and they'll threaten to put you in jail, in which you can never leave because you are now in their country. Like
Ain't that nuts?
Yeah.
like they showed a video. This woman was supposedly directing traffic, and they have these major highways, and there's no cars. There's nobody actually driving anything over there. They have a woman directing traffic, and there's no traffic. You know, they take you to a restaurant.
Government jobs, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll provide for you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, there's nobody in hotels. This one person had a secret body cam. And they went to a restaurant or like a little mini mart or a.
Imagine if they found that on you.
Oh yeah, you'd be most likely killed actually.
If you're trying to put it out to the
Like
public.
any pictures or video you take, they actually have like government officials go through your phone or your camera or whatever, and like there was one guy that said that they made him delete pictures of the countryside. They were taking a bus somewhere and he took pictures of the countryside, and they made him delete them. You cannot do anything.
We got
over
it
there.
so bad here.
Yeah, and I mean,
It's like Soviet Russia, dude.
it
people-
literally reminded me of Nazi Germany. Like the only TV station they have is state broadcast. It's like a news channel.
But people
That's on
don't think
every
that
TV.
stuff's happening.
They
They don't think that, like,
Oh,
yeah, like, that's why it's so hard for people to comprehend when they try taking little freedoms from us. It's like, they would never do that. That doesn't happen. It's like, that happens all over the world. That
yeah.
kind of shit is going on right now.
It's crazy. Like if you go outside, all you see are pictures of the two leaders, and they're treated as gods. You don't like religion is banned. The only one you can worship is the leader. You go to like these two like 60-foot statues. You buy plastic flowers. You put them at the foot of these statues, and then somebody said they literally watched somebody come and collect them all and put them back on a cart to be resold.
Could you imagine being born into a city or a country like that?
I know. And like the kids, they don't know any better.
Yeah, that's what I like.
And literally everywhere.
'Cause how do you-
There's
how do
no
you
such thing
see
as music.
if you-
They play.
They do it so well where that you can't see the outside world like through social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Where
That's
you
like. Oh, sorry.
go ahead, yeah.
Oh, that's like remember in Nebraska I was telling you about the book I was reading, and it was talking about risk versus luck,
Mm-hmm.
and how both play a factor. Like you could take zero risk and be like, this is 100%, but you might be unlucky, and there's never like a 0% risk, and how we have to like play luck into our decisions, especially
absolutely.
financially, and how we need to be like how lucky a lot of us are. It's like how we were just born into this country. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
if
it
we
really
were
is.
born into like North Korea, like imagine like we wouldn't know what freedom even is because we
No.
were born under communism. So we would think that that's perfectly normal because the communists tell them that Americans are evil.
You'd
like,
have to find happiness in that
yeah.
situation.
Or is that what is happening here?
That
You know, you ever think of that? Like,
that
are we just played into that this is the right way? Like,
no, dude. There's so many people so many people come here. They tell you how bad other countries are. Like,
yeah.
and
The
we're
crazy-
able to look. We have the freedom to look at other countries and travel to other countries and see other countries.
And if you notice, I'm sure you all know, but the people who hate this country the most are the ones that, like, were born and raised here for many generations.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
The
immigrants
people who
love coming here. Like,
Yes, absolutely. And I don't understand that. Like, you ask somebody who moved here from Europe or Australia or something, they're like, this is the best country, hands down. And then you ask somebody who was born and raised here, and they're like, this is a hellhole. And it's like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me? Like, have you been anywhere else? Have you looked? I mean,
that's
I
the thing
haven't
too.
been anywhere, but
Look at these people that are like talking shit on the situations that like on this life right now, this country. A lot of them, guarantee they've never traveled anywhere else. They've never seen how shitty other places are.
no.
They don't like, or they've never looked into how shitty other places are. Like
Yeah.
you watching a documentary on that. You know how many people just don't even give a fuck to even look into it, and
No.
they don't just sit and complain about their situation right now.
Well, and I think it's really narcissistic. I mean, it just kind of adds on. The whole world thinks that the U.S. is fucking terrible because, or not that they're terrible, but that we're so involved with ourselves that we like run the world. And
Certain
the world,
cultures, I think, are, but I think overall, in general, there's a majority of people would like to come here because of the freedoms that we have.
I agree, but I think a lot of people also think like it is a good place to be, but the world doesn't revolve around the States. And I think a lot of people who are more or less really left, I guess, on the political scale, are the ones who like really push that agenda.
Yeah, like Kyle.
Like,
you and your liberal
well, they
teachings.
think this place is so.
I am far from being left.
Where were we when somebody said something about that to you, and you're like, you went off. You're like, You're like, I'm not no fucking left swinger. Like just.
I think it was at the bonfire on the 4th of July.
Was it? Probably.
we were messing with you, and you're like, no, and you like, made your points of, this is why I don't believe this.
Yeah.
How's your taxidermy stuff going?
It's going pretty good. I mean,
now that the seasons are all over.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate enough to have a lot of
10 of Ben's deer. You can just say it.
Not 10, but there's a good amount of deer that.
Very fortunate this asshole pounded all these deer into my lap for my first year.
I mean, you think about the season that he had. Some people don't even get that in a lifetime of hunting.
You fucking slayed him this year.
Yeah, you should. I'll let you go on about this because All
right. So we cut out. So we got to start over. So start at the beginning, like the first buck you shot this year.
All right, well, my season started in Wisconsin this year. I knew that I had several trips planned out of state, so I wasn't going to harvest any does. And I started getting pictures of a buck that I was calling the 18-pointer, telling all my buddies about it, telling them that was the deer I was going to chase this fall. And then I hunted him all the way to the end of October, never seen him, had very few pictures of him. And finally, one afternoon sit, I ended up harvesting him. I called Matt, was the first guy I called, and then I called Jake, and when I first called him Matt, all I had to say on the phone was, son of a bitch, he only has 17 points.
Oh, shoot.
And he's like, you got him, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I got him. So then from there, we took a rifle trip to Nebraska. I didn't have real high hopes going into it. I bought 2 buck tags right away, and opening morning we went in, and right at first light I had a buck come in, shot it, didn't know what I really had. I knew it was a decent deer, and then another deer came in from the neighboring property and started goring it, and I knew that was a shooter, so I shot that one also and waited an hour and went down there, and I had a 14 point and 11 point laying side by side, both real nice deer. That ended my first trip to Nebraska this year with 2 more bucks that were wall worthy. And then we went back for a muzzleloader hunt on a reservation hunt. And we hunted hard for a whole week. We got some nice bucks, and then on the very last morning I was able to shoot another buck out there. That was a real nice 10-pointer. So Kyle's got all 4 of them laying in his basement right now, and he gets to mount all 4 of them in the off season here and practice on his taxidermy skills.
So from like the first one to the last one, how like time wise?
It was October 30th to December 9th or 11th. So.
And then people like most people would, that 17-pointer would be like the biggest deer they've ever shot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
even that 10 in Nebraska, like I haven't seen it in person, but the pictures I'd be like,
yeah,
I was like if I would have shot that by far.
A lot of people be like, oh yeah, I shot a 10-pointer or whatever, but like it's not the fact that it was just 10 points. Like
it was big.
Yeah, it's a big 10-pointer, like high scoring deer. Ben was just saying. Sorry, Kyle just came back with the pizza. Ben was just talking about the process of going through his what he does to get these deer. Did you talk about how you got the ones on public?
The ones in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I hit on it.
Okay, yeah.
That we got them.
Yeah, explain that because I haven't heard that story.
How
we left.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. All right. So yeah, you're Nebraska muzzleloader.
Yeah, I haven't heard the story yet.
All right, so me and Kyle went in. Well, we started off, it was just a dough hole. It was just a dough hole. Me, Jake, and Kyle walked in the first morning, and we scouted around this pond, and there wasn't any tracks around it. So we just figured, we just kind of wrote it off as there wasn't no deer. There's a water hole with mud all the way around. There ain't no deer tracks. So we walked the property, and we jumped a pile of does the first couple days. And we're just like, well, this is fun, but all that's in here is does. And then we went in another morning, we rattled some, and we finally seen a little buck. We're like, all right, there's some bucks in here. So me and Jake went in one night, and we seen a couple good bucks take a trail a ways away, too far to shoot. So then me and Kyle went in the next morning, we seen a real big one take a trail, same trail, but we couldn't get near it with the wind. So then the last morning I went in on that trail, we had a right wind, and I sat it. It's right by the pond that we rode off that didn't have any tracks by it. And 3 bucks came through, and I shot the biggest one of them 3 that morning. That was our last morning, and then Kyle ended up taking a doe that night, and we headed her home.
Does and hoes, Nebraska 2021.
Does and bros.
Oh no, Kyle got
no.
a doe and a hoe in Nebraska.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Were you
thought
not listening to
That's
the
where-
story in the
That's where he
beginning?
punched
Yes.
the cougar tag on me. Not in Nebraska,
Oh, my
but
bad,
close
my
to
bad.
it.
Oh yeah, that was in
Yeah.
South Dakota. What are you scared she's gonna hear this? Chocolate, you out there?
Knock it off.
Would that be some shit if she heard this and all of a sudden?
I remember that curly-headed fuck.
I remember that hog he had.
Pretty sure Kyle will be getting a cougar tag every year he goes down there. He's
Yeah,
got-
going down, it's like you kind of were. I was a little nervous about like
A little.
cougars and well,
Are you talking about a little nervous about cougars in the bar or cougars out in the woods?
no, cougars out in the woods, the ones that rip your face off and leave you for the fucking crows.
This one wasn't far from it.
Oh, no,
She's a nice lady.
yeah.
How scared were you of the cougars?
No, honestly,
Don't
it's
lie.
one of those things where you just get worked up in your head. But as soon as you're out there and you're like,
You wouldn't even sit by yourself.
yeah, I did. I did.
You wouldn't even sit by yourself?
No,
You never said
no, actually, I didn't. I didn't sit by myself. But that wasn't because of the cougars. Like the cougars, I feel pretty like confident about now. That's more or less. I have no idea where the fuck I am. Got no cell service, and I don't know the land.
All right,
I ain't
all right.
just
fair,
gonna.
fair point, fair point.
You don't ever think about the cougars till you're sitting by
Yeah.
yourself. Then you'll start thinking about it because you got nothing better to think about. You're like,
I knew going out there you guys were all just fucking with Kyle on like the cougar, like how bad the cougars were gonna be. But then when I like that, was it the first or the second night? I sat with Kyle and we're sitting there waiting for you guys to come pick us up, and it is pitch black. You can't see a single thing, and it's like, you know, these fucking cats are like, you won't know until you're getting bit that it's there. And I'm looking at Kyle, and he's like from here to the wall away from me, and I'm like trying to just like see a silhouette of him, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to be fucking out here by myself. Are you
If you-
fucking kidding me?
I say, if you can't see a silhouette of me, you're in deep shit.
yeah, there's a lot of coyotes out there too. When we were out there rifle hunting, we were telling Matt about coyotes and how they'll just break out in like a whole pack of them, and like minutes after we said it, just this huge pack of coyotes let loose.
Were they close?
Close enough.
Gonna make that hair on the back of your neck stand up?
Oh yeah, Borchard started running. I could see him across the public.
Really? Borch did?
No, he said he about shit his pants because they were. It sounded like they were.
And Borch
They were
pretty,
towards his way, but they weren't that close. But
Borch
he said
pretty
there's-
much lives outside. He should be friends
oh
with
no, he's Borch, I know you're listening. I know you're a chicken shit in the dark. Yeah, he does not like the dark.
Yeah, Borch is
He's like-
Mr. Outdoors.
He's like
Yeah.
Kyle on ice, dude.
I hate ice.
Not a fan.
No,
No,
I'm not a fan of ice, dude. I don't even like riding my.
I want to
snowmobile
be on
over ice.
solid ground. I
Me
don't want to
too.
be in no goddamn water.
One time I watched Borch pick out a fish out of the like Green Lake. Remember when it was like the 4th of July or something, and then we're in like Norwegian Bay. We're like, oh, I think there's a fish there. And Borch just like takes his hand and just stabs it in the water and pulls it out, and I'm just like, what
in
the
hell?
fuck?
You remember in Florida when he was laying underneath that towel?
Got to see.
We covered him in sand, and he was underneath this towel. And he's like, I'm going to catch one of them fuckers. All of a sudden,
A what?
there's like a
Catch a
seagull,
what? A
dude. All of a
seagull?
sudden, we're throwing food by it. Hunter grabs onto this. He jumps out from underneath the towel, grabs onto this seagull, and it's like, just like going crazy. And he's got this fucker, and he's just like, he's looking at us, like Hunter, like, like we're just laughing his ass off. And then he's like, we're like, let it go, let it go. He lets it go. This guy comes up to him. He's like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Hunter could be on one of those like TV shows. I feel like he could go along with like, what's the Survivor Man or whatever. And he'd just be like at home. I feel like just out in the woods.
He could be the next Steve Irwin. Like,
Yeah, Steve Irwin.
look over there.
I don't know.
I'm gonna
Hunter,
put my-
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
put my
he
hand
could.
in
I
his-
don't think Hunter respects the wildlife enough.
No, that'd be the best part. He'd stick his hand right in the damn mouth of the
Well,
thing.
apparently neither did Steve Irwin because he fucking died.
No, well, true.
You ever see a stingray's barb? How long they are?
Yeah, dude.
I feel like they're like a
fuck-
foot long.
No, I don't know if they're that long, are they?
I don't know. I've
I
seen
would
a
say
couple
4
pictures on the
inches, 5
internet, and
inches.
everything you see on the internet is true. So
Well, I agree.
You were you guys are going gator hunting. Who wants to talk about that? Who's more excited here? Jake, I think. Yeah. That's
I'm pretty
excited.
What are you? Yeah. What are
I
you
pray
most
one-
excited for? And well, first, give us a rundown of like what the trip is. Well, who's going? Where you're going? What you intend to do? And then what you're most excited for. I'll ask you again.
I pray if you guys get one of you makes a pair of cowboy boots out of that thing.
I think a lot of us want to.
Have
Or
you
some
got-
pants. Some pants would be pretty cool too.
Before you
make it
start,
bad.
have you done this before? You okay? So who's all going, and what does gator hunting entail? Like what do you
Well,
do?
it's me, Ben, Josh. Can we say last names? Am I not saying last names?
No name dropping.
What was it Josh Wrights and Jordan Cook? Is that his last name? Driving down there. 20 hours? To Kissimmee, Florida.
where you're going?
Well, that's where we're staying.
Oh.
Is it in like the Everglades or?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Fucking Ben knows more about the trip than I do. We're
So,
just
like-
going down along. I'm just going for
By Orlando.
just
So then,
going
like,
for
what
the
do you
ride.
do for like a gator hunt? Like, is it like all ground hunting, or is it like hog hunting where it's out of a helicopter? Or, like, what do
No,
you do?
I think we're going on a boat, I believe.
I think you noodle for them like catfish, don't you?
You just stick your hand in the water with some chicken.
No, it's an airboat. You go out and you spot them. You'll see them surface on top of the water. And then you actually take a rod with a big snag hook. And you'll cast when they sink where their bubbles are. And you'll snag them. And then you'll reel them in like you're reeling in a fish and fight them to the boat. Then you hand the rod off and you'll shoot them.
So it's like fishing and hunting.
Yeah.
It's like Swamp People. You ever watch Swamp People?
Yeah.
Exactly
It's like
what
that.
we're doing.
No, do you actually
can
shoot
you-
them with a gun or do you use? I think a boomstick would be cooler.
You can do whatever you want. You can spear them, knife them,
Boomsticks, they
boomstick
gotta be,
them.
what, 12
Wrestle 'em.
feet Or 12 inches in the
Yeah, they got to
water.
be under the water to boomstick them, but that's how we're gonna do our gators. And then it's a hog hunt combo. So then the hog hunt, they actually go out with like a swamp buggy, like an off-road vehicle with dogs, and it's got like a shooting platform. It sits way up high, and then you go out and you can either shoot at the hogs off of that, or you release the dogs and bay it up, and then you can go in and knife it or spear it or shoot it, whatever you want to do to the hog too. So. it'll
So
be
you
Did you
can-
hear that, Jake? Whatever you want to do to the hog.
You knock it off.
So you could get like a 10-foot alligator.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get whatever size you want, depending on how much you want to pay for it.
Is there a minimum landing size?
I don't believe so. We did 6 to 9 feet as the price range we're gonna shoot for. But if you pay more, you
Get a
can
mounted
get
if you do.
bigger. I'm not sure how it works if you shoot one bigger than the size range you paid for, but we'll figure that out after we shoot it, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no penalty. Shit, I'd take a bigger one.
Well, they pick it out for you.
Are you getting boots
Oh,
or
they
anything
do?
made?
I want to. I think the only ones that isn't are just Ben.
You're not gonna get boots?
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Can you eat the meat?
Yeah, we'll bring all the meat home.
It's really just the tail, right? Like you.
I'm not sure how they quarter them up. They just said on the thing that they quarter them up for you, so I don't know if you get little legs or what you get.
We should do a tasting with that.
Yeah.
Do you have elk? You're gonna have elk, or do you have any?
Yeah, I'll have elk.
We should do a cookout or something sometime.
I got ram, hog.
That'd be kind of
Fire
fun.
up-
And just
fire
do like
up
a
the
bunch
Traeger.
of. Yeah, we'll do. We could smoke some stuff.
Well, the only thing I can contribute is alcohol,
I'll bring cigars.
or the nicest
Cigars.
festival burger I can find.
No, like all
True,
exotic
true.
meats.
all the exotic meat.
Exotic meat would be awesome.
Just shoot
I
the
got mystery meat that Quick Trip has. You never know what the fuck are in them
Horse,
hamburgers.
kangaroo, cat. Never know.
break out
No,
the
I think
pellet
cat's
gun
more
and
than
shoot the
your
neighborhood
Chinese
rabbit.
buffet.
Yeah, dude, I got a lot of rabbits in the backyard.
Woodchuck.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Jeremy Sears. You ever watch him?
It's gonna
Nope.
be me in about 15 years.
Dude, he's a Jeremy Sears. He does a lot of like whiskey reviews, cigar reviews. That's his smoke. That's his. That's in his house. It's like a bedroom, but it's a smoke lounge basically. He's got those chairs are like where I got the idea of the chairs that I want. No, they're not that big. Not like a big frickin' lounge chair. No, dude, we could fit 4 chairs in here. 4 of them.
We just have way too many people in here right now. If we only had 4 people in here.
6, dude. I don't feel that bad when
No.
you're trying to leave and like. When you're trying to leave and do things, then it's tough. Actually, we could take this wall out and go to the next room. No, this is fine. 4 people is usually what we have. But I do like this. It's nice that these are on a swivel. We're able to if you guys were, we don't have the video footage of this, but there's only 4 of us. We could get 2 more headsets, I think. And we could just get a different adapter where you're able to still hear. You don't want to hear the feedback and shit that's going on right now, but I don't
Hopefully
know.
that's not like
Hopefully,
really bad.
hopefully you guys can't hear this feedback that we keep getting. We don't know where it's coming from. We've messed with all the dial. It just comes and goes. Like we didn't touch anything right there, and now it's gone. Hopefully that you guys aren't getting that. Jake, I see you got the headset on. You're not hearing that. Yeah.
If I were to do what this Jeremy is doing, I think I know what my motto would be. Get your drink on, get your smoke on, go home with something to poke on.
I like your shirt. I'd take that. I would if that was like a sign. If that was a sign or like something I could paint onto the wall, it'd be sick.
You might be able to get some. That's amazing.
I might look at that. That'd be sweet to go with that.
I like
flag.
a lot of.
What? Yeah. Like that as a flag would be sick. You know what else would be cool? Like like them gun things that flip down on the wall, like they look like a picture frame, but it's guns and stuff in it.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
badass.
Puts in my pistol. And... Only 2.
I should take a picture. My stepdad.
But I'd get another one specifically if I got that, just to fucking put it in there.
We have a big gun safe in my house. I should take a picture. We got that thing almost entirely full.
Where do you have it located in the house?
We have it downstairs because the thing is like, dude, the thing's like 1,000 pounds.
Do you have like a?
I've seen
way.
Kyle about flip a car over. He could probably pick that safe up.
He might, but we kept it downstairs. 'Cause
Do you have
there's-
like a
there's no
hideaway
way we
key?
were-
Is it bolted to the ground?
No, it's actually a keypad.
What's the combination?
I'm not telling you that. But it's 6
No, do you have like a
digits.
hideaway key
It's
for
6
like your
digits.
house?
Like your last couple of the phone number or address, maybe? It's my mom's birthday. It's Grandma's birthday.
No, it's not. No, it's none of that.
Holy fuck, you guys are close.
No, not even.
Is it bolted to the ground?
It is not bolted to the ground.
Excellent.
But it would probably take about 6 people to get out.
Well,
of the
there's
house.
5 of us. Kyle's 2.
And
so
and the
good.
thing was,
you'll probably help, right?
no. The only bad thing
Is your AR in it?
yes. My AR, I've got multiple shotguns in there, a couple pistols.
So what was it? Hey, what was going on with this guy that was selling all these guns?
His dad died. His dad died, and he didn't need them. His dad was like, I wouldn't say necessarily a collector, because a lot of the guns that he had, he really didn't care about.
Just an addict.
Yes, like that's really what it was. And he did not take care of a lot of guns, but we had first dibs because my mom works with him. So we had first dibs. It was kind of nice, but his dad, most of the guns were actually wanted to show, or like a bar drawing or something.
So they weren't even used.
No, I got a 20 gauge Winchester X that still had the packing oil on it. He had never gotten it out and shot it.
How much?
$200.
And you just got a bunch of guns?
Yeah, pistols. He had a beautiful 3. What the hell was it? I can't remember, but he had multiple guns that were extremely nice, unshot. They weren't shot yet. They still had, a lot of the guns still had the packing oil on them from when they were shipped. We made a killing.
You just went in there, cleaned house.
Yeah, pretty much. We went in there, and I would argue that, most of the family went in there, but I would argue that most of us went in there and spent like $1,000. This dude had like over 50 guns to choose from. Pistols, shotguns, rifles, just about anything you can imagine. I bought a really nice Thompson Center Omega muzzleloader, stainless steel barrel. I got that for $200. It was unshot. I can't remember. Oh, it was like a green wood grain.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was gonna take it out this season for muzzleloader, but I filled up all my tags and
You
I
did?
didn't. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I shot 3 does
By
opening weekend.
by your grandparents there?
No,
Up north?
No, we rent land.
Turner.
We rent land by Neshkoro.
Okay.
There you go.
So, yeah, I went up there and it was nice. I didn't see any bucks, but they were all very, very nice, big, mature does.
That's good though. Got
So-
some meat.
Oh yeah,
Did you take your meat in then, or do you?
absolutely not.
Oh, you do it all
Yep,
with like your family. You just sit there and process it all, or?
yep. We'll get over the family at the farm, and then we'll lay out a couple plastic tables, and we'll basically just.
That's a
Cut
good
it
way.
up.
That's a good way to do it. That's
Um,
how Borchard do it.
We
too.
don't really get. A little bit of the meat we might
What?
send in.
Have to, no.
Well, yeah, it's tough. Well, yeah, you gotta clean them up or whatever. But do you take the meat in after it's cleaned up?
No. Nope. We might take in a few pounds for like hot sticks, but really, we'll leave the back straps whole. We'll put them in like a stew or something, or just cook them up as is, cut them up and cook them. I would say 90 to 95% of it, we just cut real thin. We have a dehydrator at home, and we just make jerky.
Really?
Put it into a big gallon bag, and take it to work.
That's
with
my
ya.
favorite way. I think.
Yeah.
I love
I honestly
jerky.
would rather have
Yes.
all my deer in jerky than make like back straps and shit. Although
Yeah,
the back straps and tenderloins I have from mine,
they're good.
and Anna's gone all week, so I think I'm just gonna be eating that the rest of the week.
Yeah, we don't usually cut those up for jerky. We'll save them for either fillets or
Yeah.
to cut them up and maybe put them in a stew or something. But the rest of it, we'll just cut it, fairly thin, throw it in the dehydrator, and just use it for a snack.
Does Grandma make killer venison recipes too?
So,
Oh, yeah.
so
She-
into the mic.
She makes
There you go. There you go.
she makes killer shit on a shingle. Oh, it's phenomenal.
Shit on a shingle.
What's
You've
that?
never had that?
Big
No.
Kyle probably knows what that is.
Oh,
He's
hell
got
yes,
that.
dude! It's phenomenal.
What is it?
It's chipped venison in like this.
I'm calling this episode "Shit on a Shingle."
Yep.
That's
on a
what
shingle.
we've always called it. I've had it since I was little. It's a piece of toast. You
Shit
put a
on
little
it.
butter on it, and then my grandma makes like this gravy. It's got corn, peas, and then chipped venison in it. And then you just ladle it over a piece of toast. It's phenomenal. You can add, a little salt and pepper, maybe a little garlic salt, onion powder. Dude, awesome.
Did you bring them things to Jake's? They're like little sausages type deals.
Yeah,
Oh, them were good.
Which ones?
little snacker bites or
Mhm.
whatever.
I think
The sweet and spicy.
Oh,
ones are
yeah.
Fucking fire.
I think I sat at that thing and ate like half the bowl. I'm not even kidding. All of a sudden, I'm like, looking around. I'm like, I've been standing here for a long time eating these things. These are fucking delicious.
I forget where your night was going. Just like, I was here to socialize until I found these.
Supposed to be talking to people, but I'm just sitting here mowing down these little sausage links. Them things were delicious. Where'd you get them down at Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon Meats.
Those are good. Good time at New Year's Eve at your house, too. That was fun. It's always usually a good turnout, too. And, like, your basement isn't too small that everyone's, like, on top of each other, but it's not too big where you lose people. It's, like, the perfect, like...
Mingling
Yeah.
spot. I think it
you
turned
can
out
have
pretty good.
separate conversations, but at the same time, you can get everybody into one conversation.
Is the last one in, Kyle?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I thought that was a good turnout. We actually were not expecting that many people to come, I don't think. We were like 10 people were going to come, like 20-some people were probably there. It was good, though. I liked it. Yeah. Except
Yeah, I did not want to. I did not want to go out or like do a big thing for New Year's, but that was like perfect.
We didn't watch the fucking ball drop or anything.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't either.
I forgot about it.
My grandma always makes a killer meal for New Year's.
Yeah,
What'd she make?
Lobster.
Oh yeah, dude, lobster, crab, scallops, steak. Dude, it was awesome.
Where does she get the lobster from?
I think she gets it from Festival. You know, lobster tails, crab legs, scallops. Scallops, I would say, are probably my favorite.
My
That
dad
lobster
loves
tail.
lobster tail. Every once in a while, like
What's your favorite seafood?
seafood, mahi mahi.
I've
Tuna?
never had it. I've heard it's good.
No, it's a fish. I don't think it's a tuna.
Well, if you're not
It-
too hungry, do you just order one mahi?
Maki. Maki.
All right,
They come
sorry,
in. They
that was a
come
really
in like
bad
a
joke.
walleye. It looks
That
like
was
a
a dad.
walleye.
That was a
strip.
dad joke. I
Yeah,
liked
it was.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That was a good dad joke, though.
I'm
No,
not
they
too
come
hungry.
in.
I
It
just
looks
want
like a
one mahi.
walleye strip, like a fillet.
Yeah, I think I got you now. Kyle, what's yours? You like seafood?
I like, well,
Into the mic.
salmon.
Into the mic.
Salmon's my go-to.
Salmon?
Yeah.
Smoked salmon is really good.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I like smoked
smoked
salmon.
trout as well. Smoked trout is
Smoked
very
salmon
good.
is pretty good.
What's yours?
Any kind of sushi. Is that a seafood?
Ew.
Ugh, you sick bastard.
Dude, I fucking hammer sushi.
Actually, I don't think
I
I've-
can't get past that nasty shit that it's wrapped in.
What? Dude, have you had, like, what kind of sushi have you had? Like, California roll with that black, whatever,
Oh.
that eel or whatever the hell that shit's wrapped
I don't
in?
know.
You gotta go to an actual restaurant and get sushi.
I don't know. I'd rather have. I like lobster tail and scallops, dude. Are my go-to.
Scallops. I don't like those.
No,
I've never had,
I love 'em.
Sushi though. It just. I'm a big texture guy. I don't like texture.
No,
That's-
there's a
that's-
place in Appleton. Well, there's a couple of them, but the best one I've
Nakashima?
been, the best one I've been to, I'd have to ask Anna for the name, but it was like $25 for all you can eat, and it was just all like Japanese food or whatever, and I ate 70 some pieces of sushi, and you can get all different rolls. Oh, I went nuts. I had to get carried out stretcher. It was just like Gino's. It was all.
Were
it
they
was
starting
awesome.
to get pissed when you started eating more
No,
than
no,
what
she
you
said,
paid for?
oh, when I said that's it. She's like, oh, thank you.
You got to remember, those people aren't. I mean, they have a serving size like 3 rolls per person, and that fills you up. They aren't used to the big old Americans.
We'll have to try that sometime. I've never had sushi.
100%.
What's your favorite seafood?
Well, sushi ain't seafood, but seafood's in sushi.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's why I was wondering, like, is it considered a seafood? Because, like, it's like a Japanese food, but
But what is sushi? then?
there's everything. Like, dude, everything.
It's just rice, usually with a vegetable, cucumber chunk or something in there.
And isn't the
with,
fit? Isn't the, if
with
it-
sushi? Well, sushi has seafood in it, so it'll be like a piece of cucumber and tuna or salmon.
But
or
it's raw.
scallops.
I was gonna
raw,
say,
right?
isn't it raw?
You can get raw, cooked, deep fried.
Really?
Deep fried's the best, dude.
See,
I
you
thought it
love
was-
it. No, you'll
that's-
love it.
That's spoken
Oh,
like
then-
a true Wisconsinite, because I'd rather go out and just have deep fried perch with fries.
Well, they got a
Yeah.
Wisconsin roll where we go where it's got brat,
Really?
mustard, ketchup,
Whoa.
all
Okay,
in
we're
the
going-
rice.
we're going.
Jesus Christ.
I thought it was like a piece of raw fish with like kelp on it or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
piece
what
of
I
coral on the side or
thought.
something
A piece
stupid.
of raw fish in a roll of, sticky rice.
Yeah, I thought it was like
And
a
then
jellyfish or
fucking
something.
piece of seaweed you found on the beach and
Yeah.
wrapped it up with. I mean, for Christ, it doesn't sound appetizing to
It's
me.
a starfish wrapped in a jellyfish or something.
Now you get me a crustacean that hangs out at the bottom of the ocean, a nice little water bug, and then boil it and then take the fucking shell off, and you got yourself a fucking exquisite meal.
So what's your favorite seafood?
I'll eat just about any type of seafood. I'd say scallops is right up there. Probably near the top.
You like mussels or oysters?
Oh yeah, I eat the shit out of
I
mussels,
like to have a
oysters.
can of the smoked oysters that they come in a can or whatever on a
Crackers.
cracker. Oh, hell
yeah.
yes. I made the mistake of eating a whole tin of those once
Oh,
after a
yeah.
night of drinking, and I puked it up. That wasn't
Yeah, I had
good.
a little accident with them also.
But I still love them.
Oh yeah.
They make a good snack. I like the taste of them.
Smetty, what about you? You picky eater.
The only seafood I'll eat is probably deep fried shrimp. Bluegill. I'm a big lake guy, like bluegill, perch, haddock.
Freshwater.
You'd like the mahi mahi then. That's pretty much
What
what
else?
it
You
is.
like smoked salmon? Like
I've never had it. I have no idea.
Smoked salmon.
You'd
is
like that.
phenomenal.
this is what
Can
I'm
I-
talking about. We need to just like all bring these certain foods and just have a little meat cookout here.
Because I'm
Like-
picky like that, where it's like,
I'm pretty sure I'm more pickier than you.
Yeah.
yeah, but if you just like the fried stuff like that, that's what I like, and mahi you like.
I
mahi.
think
What is
salmon
mahi?
is good
it's
because
just a type of fish that's in the ocean,
Oh.
and they fry it up like
Deep fried?
yeah, like perch.
Well, everything's fucking good deep fried.
Mhm.
I think salmon is so good, especially for somebody like Jaybird over here, because it's not flaky. It's more steak, and it's not white. It's pink. So it doesn't really. It's really mild, especially when you smoke it. You get more smoke flavor than anything else.
Yeah, it's like a smoky meat.
Yeah, it's more steaky, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. It's not like a fish.
It's between a steak and a fish. It's not like tough like a steak can be, but it's not like a perch either.
Yeah.
When we have that cookout, Kyle should bring some of that possum over he's always making.
I'll bring some possums too. No,
I can't say that I would
I've
want to
never-
try possum.
I will tell you, I've never ate a possum. Don't ever plan to. But my brother freaking eats squirrels all the time.
Oh yeah, I've had
I
squirrel.
got a good story here for you guys.
Go ahead, shoot.
So one day I'm at work and I get a text from my brother. Well, I normally don't look at my phone right away, and all of a sudden he's calling me, and I was like, "What the heck's going on?" Because he was on winter break, and it was like 10 minutes till break, and I was like, "Well, he can wait till break." Well, he's calling me again, so finally I was like, "I'll just answer it." So I answer it. I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Somebody stole my gas can." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Well, he's down in the woods trying to clear out some buckthorn, and he took the UTV down, thought he had the gas can with him, and he goes to fill up the brush cutter, and he can't find the gas can, so he's flipping out. Well, where we live,
Did he just leave it at home?
Well, just hang on here.
Okay.
Where we live, like down the road, it's a halfway house. Like convicts live there. In his mind, he kind of was like, well, we live on a dead end road. Literally anyone could come take it. And so he's like, goes to the neighbor's house and knocks on the door, and he's like, "Hey, did you see anyone come by here recently?" And she's like, "No, I haven't been up that long, but I haven't seen nothing suspicious." So he just is like, "Well, I'm gonna file a police report." Meanwhile, here's one of those stuck on, or you can't fix
Why did
stupid.
he just go from
Dude,
0 to 100?
I was just telling him, like, Al is one of the smartest kids when it comes to reading out of a book, but
common sense
common
sometimes,
sense,
yeah.
he struggles.
Yeah. So you would think you go up to the house and check to make sure, oh, I didn't leave it in the shed or something.
Naturally, most people would.
No,
I
this
guess
guy
not-
right
not
away,
Al.
I'm going to file a police report. So he goes and files this police report. And the officer comes on out. My brother goes on up to the shed. Here it's sitting in the shed. So he tells the officer, he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, but my gas can's still here, and you know, like, there's no reason for you to come out here.
I
Well-
hope the officer called him a retard for doing that.
No, he's like, it happens all the time. Don't worry about it. So that just goes to show you how many people out there are.
Well,
lacking
raise
common
Al's
sense.
taxes. He just made an
No!
asinine call.
Anyway,
That'd be college taxes.
listen. So
All right, taxes,
the
brother,
officer,
I don't care.
the officer comes on up to the house and he goes, "Is somebody hurt out here?" And my brother's like, "No, why?" He's like, "Well, look at all the blood in the snow." My brother's got a big.
You should have come out of the house limping. Be like, the fucker shot me.
I was at work. My brother's got this big stump with a hatchet where he butchers all these squirrels, and all the squirrel blood's on the dooryard.
Meanwhile, Kyle lives in the sticks. Like,
Oh, yeah, for
he's
sure.
just assuming what is going on with this young kid out here.
So I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like you're lacking common sense. You're not helping yourself because you got all this blood all over the place.
I hope Connie came out and told the officer he was a little loopy. They don't know what he's getting into.
Oh no.
He forgot his meds.
There's another time where he started the gas can on fire, and he's deathly afraid of it of gasoline now. Like he had the
No, gas and fire are a perfect mixture.
well, he had the
But then
the whole gas can, and he put it like too close to the flame. So it started melting the gas can, and the thing's like expanding. He's like shitting himself. So he just takes a shovel and just starts burying this gas can.
He's got himself a little homemade napalm bomb going on.
Keep going, God. Keep going.
I mean, he definitely is starting to learn some common sense stuff, but I think he's learning the hard way.
Right.
All right, let's take a break.
I got pissed.
Is it going right now?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So
I'm smacking on a bearded clam.
all right, we gotta cut it. We've been having some technical difficulties.
Again,
Again.
like every 30
So
episodes we have.
we're going to the next one will be on a completely new
We were talking
recording.
about seafood, right? Smacking on a bearded
No,
clam.
we ended on Kyle's story. We're gonna have to end it on there. We're gonna have messed up editing, so sorry for the end of it. Hopefully, we can put together the rest of the last hour and a half, and it comes out all right. I think we had a good amount of conversation, so thank you guys all for being a part of it, and thank you guys for listening. We'll have this one posted within the next week, and hopefully another one up soon after that.
Remember the motto: get your drink on, get your smoke on, go home with something to poke on. We love y'all.